Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another week of the EV Weekly Wrap. Can you believe it? We are already at the end of May, which means 1 month left until end of financial years. So watch out for more deals. Anyways, with regards to the news, you can see on the right hand side, these are all the brands and manufacturers topics that we're going to be talking about today. So let's jump straight into it. So, first one is on the New South Wales Government. So, we have more EV chargers being rolled out thanks to the Minns Labor government. So, they're investing another $16.1 million to invest another 246 fast chargers and ultra-fast EV chargers across the state. So, that brings it to a total of $41.2 million that we've spent to roll out charging ports, all powered by renewable energy. So they're saying that they are definitely committed and they are holding themselves closer to net zero targets. So you can see there's actually 5 key brands, I think it was, 5 successful grant recipients. So BYD Energy Australia plus ES, Tesla and NRMA, and these are all the suburbs over here. I won't read them out one by one, so pause the screen if you guys want to have a look at it there. But essentially all of that is going to help ease congestion, especially during public holidays where we see a lot of people traveling and they have to wait a lot. So fingers crossed that it's going to help ease the congestion. And the one that I'm really looking forward to potentially doing one day is the Jindabyne one, because I hear that it's a tough one at the moment. There's not too many chargers around that area. So watch this space. Maybe we'll do it one day this year or next. Who knows? We'll see. Either way, that is the news for the New South Wales Government and the additional charges coming in soon. Okay, let's keep moving on. So, next one, BYD Australia and EVDirect. Guys, I've already made a video on this in more detail. It's only a short couple of minutes, so make sure you jump over to my channel and have a look at that if you're interested. But the long story short, you can see over here, from July 2025, BYD Australia is going to become the national importer and distributor. So no longer going to be all distributed by EVDirect. BYD is setting up operations here. So you can see that this shift brings our Australian operations in line with global markets as well. They have also extended a 5-year dealer agreement with AP Eagers under the EV Dealer Group joint venture, which means that EVDirect actually holds a 20% share and Eagers Automotive actually holds 80% share. So over the 5 years at the bare minimum, that is going to be led by them. So I guess my call out is, from a service side of things, don't expect too much to change within the next 5 years at least. I do know that I read they do have the option to extend further as well. But they have done a good thing in terms of bringing the brand over here, EVDirect, and kudos to them for everything that they've done. Where to from here? So I foresee and I speculate, okay, this is not confirmed, but I speculate that because the middleman is essentially being cut out, that we potentially are going to see one of two things. We're either going to see better pricing, or because these are all going through dealers and you've got BYD, I guess, behind it, potentially opening up for, I guess, better negotiations. And I say the original point around better pricing because EVDirect is no longer the middleman doing the distribution. It's all going to be brought in by BYD themselves. And yeah, hopefully it is all for the best with regards to the pricing. The other thing as well that I'm really looking forward to, potentially, as I said, not within the first 5 years, but if they are setting up shop here, then I think hopefully, based on the feedback that I've seen in a lot of Facebook groups, that the sales and the after sales service improves a whole lot, because I think based on what I've read, they've got some work to do. Let's just put it that way. Either way, that's all the news for BYD Australia and EVDirect. So watch this space and I'll keep you guys posted once we hear more about how this all goes in July. Okay, next thing here, we have Alpine A390. So, you guys may recall, Alpine had the A110, which had, I guess, looked sort of like a bug, like lots of little eyes in terms of the lights at the front. They are officially returning into Australia. So they're going to bring in this A390. It is an electric fastback. So the original A110 was a sports car, 2-door sports car. It was sold here from 2018 to 2022. And then that was discontinued because apparently it didn't meet side impact regulations. So when the rules always stiffened up or toughened up, there were brands that obviously couldn't make it here, similar to like the Halo's Japanese supercar, the Nissan GTR, that also did not make it here for one of the last models as well. Anyways, this car was revealed overnight. It does look like a crossover type shape, similar to, it's like, you know, when I look at it, it gives me Cupra Tavascan vibes. However, in saying that, this car is a beast of a car. So it's actually got triple motors, so one in the front and two in the rear for individual wheels, which means that it's got really good torque control, supposedly. Pause the screen here if you guys want to see the specs in more detail. However, you can see the two variants, GT and GTS, with the GTS top spec doing a 0 to 100 in 3.9 seconds. Very good torque figures too, at 808 Newton meters of torque. That is going to be an amazing car to get off the line. And in terms of dimensions, it's a 4.6 meter car, so actually a bit shorter than Model Y, so in the vicinity of that middle size SUV shape. And weight from just over 2,000 kilos or 2,100 kilos. So this car is essentially going to be coming to Australia. It says here orders aren't opening in Europe until 4th quarter of 2025. So we actually probably won't see that car here in Australia until next year or even maybe 2027. So fingers crossed, specs are good, or specs continue to evolve and get better than what you see over here. I'm interested in seeing how the battery technology is going to be, what type of battery chemistry, if that changes, because at the moment it just says 89 kilowatt lithium ion across both. Keen to know if they're going to introduce NMC one as an example or something else. Anyway, I do have some additional photos for you guys, so let's jump over to have a look at those. So here you can see this is a silvery color. This is the blue one here. That's the interior in terms of how it looks. You see two-tone, and then you can see the Alpine steering wheel, the very nice steering wheel. And then it's got a more vertically mounted display over here, along with a couple of buttons here, I presume, to put the car into drive or reverse. And that's all the news for Alpine, so let's keep moving on. Alright, let's talk about the Mazda EZ-60. So this is the mid-size SUV that I've shown you guys previously. The good news, or the update now, is that we've got some additional information based on information that has been registered in China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology database, which is the MIIT. Basically, it's a place where you submit information, sort of like our ADR approval process in Australia, and it reveals key specifications ahead of time. So anyways, this car is supposed to be launching in late August. Some of the details we previously known hasn't lined up specifically to this yet, or we don't know as much. So all we know now that's actually confirmed is the car has 190 kilowatts. It is an LFP battery. Now previously, as I showed you, or as I mentioned down over here, the third line, that there were rumors of a 68.8 kilowatt LFP kilowatt hour LFP battery and also 80 kilowatt hour NMC. Right now, the only thing that the spec sheet says is that it's LFP battery. And then in terms of dimensions, look, it's getting to the upper end in terms of the size of the car at 4.85 meters long. Other than that, just as a reminder, this car, if you guys are interested in the design, was pretty much a joint partnership with Chang'an. This one over here, this brand over here, which again, for memory, is the same one as the Deepal S07. So for the ones that do have a keen eye, you will see a lot of resemblance between both of them. One key difference that absolutely is not the same, and I personally don't like it, is the digital side mirrors. So you can see it slightly over here, and then on the interior picture you can see over here. So they've made it pretty much on the left and the right of the steering wheel on each end, and that is similar to the Hyundai Ioniq 6. I will admit that realistically, from a driver's side of things, that positioning is actually fairly good. But either way, we'll wait to see the final specs. Also, no confirmation that this is coming to Australia as yet, but overseas in China, late August launch. So that's the Mazda EZ-60. Now on to the next one, which is also a Mazda. So this is the Mazda 6e. So this is essentially just the sedan version. Now that's the two vehicles that they've recently released, which is the EZ-60 and also now the 6e. So previously this one, EZ-60, And now we're talking about the sedan, the 6e. Now, this one here apparently has been confirmed to be built in right-hand drive. So that means that there is potential that it's going to come to Australia. And based on this screen grab that I've taken off the article here, it says, at this stage, the only one we're building a business case for because it's available in right-hand drive is the Mazda 6e, and we're only doing a business case, confirmed Mazda Australia Managing Director Vinesh Bindi to Australian media. So, fingers crossed, is that a car that you guys are going to get? But fingers crossed that it's going to bring it to Australia. I think Mazda really need to up their game, because previously they only had one car, which was, I think it was called the CX-30 or something like that. It was something 30, and that car was a flop. I remember them saying, Mazda themselves saying, that that car was not intended to be a primary vehicle. It was supposed to be a second vehicle for the family to accompany your main one. So fingers crossed, or else, you know, the brand's going to suffer. Anyways, Mazda red color, can I just say, they always look amazing. What do you guys think? Do you like the color? And do you like the styling? I've always found their styling to be actually quite nice, and they do actually target on the premium end of the pricing. So I guess my next question is, having a look at the specs over here, if these specs were real, is that good enough for you guys? The one bit that actually seems odd to me, and I know we're not going through this line by line, but let me call it out for you guys. So you see here, right? You've got rear-wheel drive, 190 kilowatt, 320 newton meters. That's pretty much for all variants. Then in terms of power, you can see the LFP one has 190 kilowatts, the NMC has 180. Now usually NMC is more dense, which means you can have a more powerful vehicle, but in this case it's actually less powerful. And then you've got a smaller battery in the LFP, the bigger one at the NMC. But then if you look at charging, you can do 165 kilowatts for the LFP and you can only do 90 for the NMC. And then you get more range. I'm really confused. It doesn't make sense, Mazda. Make it make sense. But yeah, that's the news on Mazda. Let me know in your comments below. What do you guys think? Do you like it or not? Anyways, let's keep moving on. So, IM Motors presented by MG IM6. It's starting to roll off my tongue a bit better. Anyways, this is an old article that I put up a couple of weeks ago. This was saying that there are 6 variants in total, and the IM Motors, I'm just going to call it that, IM Motors IM6 was ADR approved. So definitely coming into Australia soon. Now, we don't know when the car is launching. We don't know how many there are around. We don't know if you can even put an order for one yet, along with the pricing. All of that is up in the air. However, let's jump to the next slide. There is a new one coming. That's right. And the new one, there is also going to be an extended range EV, which is EREV variant coming as well. So let's look at some of the points over here. So they're saying it's got a redesigned front end. Previously it was criticized for being too bubbly and fuzzy front bumper. So the updated one has fin-shaped headlights and a redesigned bumper with a large air intake, which is down over here. And it's from the back, they're saying it resembles Aston Martin DBX. Unfortunately, I don't have any pictures of the back. And it is going to be 27 millimeters longer. You can pause the screen here to read this in more detail, but the long story short is they're going to have new motors, and the all-wheel drive or the performance variant is going to be less powerful by almost 79 kilowatts based on looking at the top figures between these two lines over here. What do you guys think about the design? Do you think this design looks better or looks worse? For me, I personally think it looks better, and I feel like it also has taken some design cues off the Kia EV9, I'm going to say. Either way, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And that is it for IM Motors, presented by MG IM6. Okay, let's move on. This is a concept drawing of the Volvo flagship EV SUV, which is the EX100 Imagination. There is no other details that I have. However, being the Geely Group, or being as part of the Geely Group, this looks really like the Zeekr 9X that they've recently announced, which was a hybrid though, not an EV. Either way, design cues, they pretty much look exactly the same. I'll put an overlay over here just to show you guys quickly. Let me know what you guys think. Now, in terms of pricing, right? Now, this isn't even confirmed yet. So, let's speculate though, if this does come here. Okay, my view is for the EX90, that's pretty much out now where you can order it. Its drive-away price in New South Wales, private buyer, is $149,000, pretty much $150,000. I'm going to say this is going to be about $170,000. Let's take some guesses. So guys, have a look at this car, drop down your price, and hopefully if we remember one day, if this car actually comes here, let's take a look and we'll see what figures we land in. Okay, let's keep moving on. Let's talk spotted vehicles. We have a new spotted vehicle, which is apparently a BYD SUV. So from the articles and the various posts that I've seen, everyone is saying this doesn't match any of the existing lines or shape as the C lines or the Dynasty. So no one knows really what it is, but they know it is a BYD. So the question from me is, what type of BYD could it be? Is it going to be pretty much just like an SUV 5-seater, or could it potentially be a +2 or a small 7-seater car? Because there are cars, I can't think of which ones in particular or which ones specifically, but there are cars that look similar to that size that you could squeeze +2 at the back. So it's a totally small or pocket 7-seater car. Either way, that's a car. So let's move on to the next one, which is also a BYD. So this was posted by Inside China Auto on X, and this is a massive BYD car. Now it's disguised to look like a van, but if you look at the size of the van next to it, this literally overshadows it by a mile. And this looks like a ute over here, and that looks like a truck. This looks more on par with that. So what do we call it? Is that, I mean, the name itself says BYD e-vali, if that's how you say it. But in terms of the shape, you know, sometimes we say it's an SUV shape and whatnot. Do we call this a VUC, which is a van truck? Or do you call it a tran? A giant van? Who knows? Who knows? Either way, it's been spotted testing, so they're most likely doing something. And yeah, who knows? Maybe it's a car we'll see in Australia one day in the future. Okay, nearly there, guys. Kia EV2. Here's the concept pictures of the Kia EV2. And seeing as you see this detective picture here, you know what's coming next. That's right. The Kia EV2, what they think is the potential production version, has been captured at Hyundai Motor Group's German test center. So apparently some parts have been changed from mass production, but it seems they've maintained the overall concept of the car, which means if I jump back, that's what it potentially might look like. So they're also saying here, the daytime running lights have been simplified into a single vertical segment. Tail lamp position are still shaped like the concept car. It's expected to debut at the Brussels Motor Show in February 2026. So if it's February 2026, I'd say it'd be at least mid to end of 2026 that we will see the EV2 here in Australia. Alright, and the last one here, we have Mercedes-Benz EQV. So apparently this is the latest, greatest, next generation Mercedes van. Now, EQV traditionally is Mercedes electric van, and they usually have a passenger side and they've also got a commercial side. So what you see here, whilst it's got camouflage sections across the whole rear, this could still potentially be the passenger vehicle that's just all wrapped, but it also could potentially be the commercial one as well. We've got no idea. Either way, it is something that is being tested, and yeah, we don't really have any details. We've got no idea when it's going to launch. It's just something that has been spotted testing. So as always, watch this space for more. When I find out more, I'll make sure I let you guys know. And that takes us to the end of the weekly wrap. As always, if you've stayed with us for the entire time, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for my channel members. Thank you to my coffee supporters. And yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed, please make sure you do hit the subscribe button. It's for free. Hit the notification bell icon so you get notified every time I post a video or whenever I post the news. Now, for next week, just call out. I will skip next week just for some personal reasons. I've got some things on, so I won't be able to do this or commit to this next week. So we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. And yeah, that's about it. Take care. Hope you guys are well and have a good weekend.